Well, despite the recent rain, a large portion of the Northeast remains in a historic drought, and that lack of water left some farmers with a sense of uncertainty this holiday season.
We caught up with a cranberry farmer in southern New Jersey who's had to make some difficult decisions.
How long has this farm been in your family?
Since 1868.
At 78 years old, Stephen Lee III is facing an uncertain future.
In farming, or as in a lot of things in life, you don't know what's next.
6 generations of his family have farmed 135 acres of cranberry bogs in southern New Jersey.
It's a lot of work to protect something so small.
Yes, it is, but they're good to us. We like cranberries.
But in the last 4 months, it's only rained about 4 inches here, roughly a foot less than normal.
The National Weather Service says this extreme drought in this part of South Jersey is a 150-year event.
And before temperatures dip to single digits, the cranberry bogs will have to be flooded to keep the fragile buds from drying out. Typically, waterways feed into their reservoir, but now it's a surreal landscape, cracked and bone dry.
It's shocking, and all you can do is kind of stare out and look at it.
Lee's daughter Jennifer says they turned to a backup well to pump water for their recent harvest, but even that's 20 feet lower than normal.
We're lucky. There are some growers who don't have a well, and they weren't successful this year.
Still, pumping the bogs with well water will cost nearly $30,000 in fuel. And near the farm, a wildfire that started in July was still smoldering last week, fueled by the drought.
What's aggravated is the dryness.
Tom Gerber has helped battle it and says the fire burned deep in a layer of soil that could carry it through the forest.
It could surface several feet away from where it's been burning, traveling underground. And it just pops up, and it'll hit this pocket of leaves, and it'll run, and then we have to deal with it.
So you're fighting something you can't even see.
Sometimes you are, yeah.
The threat is keeping Stephen Lee away from a Thanksgiving weekend tradition of gathering with family in Maine.
I'm going to stay here and smell for smoke and try to figure out if the cranberries are protected.
The price of guarding next year's crop and his family's heritage.
I love that you did that story, and I'm curious because the recent rain. How has that improved their situation at all?
You know, slightly. They're obviously saying it's a step in the right direction. So over Thanksgiving, Stephen contacted me saying they've gotten about 3/4 of an inch of rain, which, you know, not nearly as much as we got here in the tri-state area, but it still is helpful. However, they're having to run that well pump because the temperatures there are in the teens. And so if you can imagine, those little fragile buds for the cranberry vines are very delicate right now. So they're having to run that. They've been running it since Wednesday. They're going to have to use those irrigation sprinklers that we saw in the very last shot there to protect those buds. And it's going to be a long winter here. There's just not enough precipitation in the forecast to make up for the drought.
Those buds that he said been so good to us.
Yes,
you know, I love that line.
Yeah, no, it was a lovely, lovely day. Unfortunate circumstances, but they were really kind to let us take a look and see what it is that they've been contending with.
Great stuff. Loved that.